Lawyers for Secretary of the defunct Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Charles Bisu, are demanding copies of documents forming the basis of the decision by the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate him. Lead counsel Nana Ejewa told the High Court he is unable to move the motion asking the court to restrain the OSP unless he receives the documents. Lawyers for the OSP, led by Dr. Isidore Tufo, however, disagreed with this viewpoint. Dr. Tufo insisted there is no relationship between the said document Mr. Bisu is requesting and the motion for injunction. This legal battle is in respect of investigations conducted by the Office of the Special Prosecutor on the back of the documentary Galamsey Fraud, published by Anas Arimia Anas. Legal Affairs correspondent Joseph Akable has the rest of the story.
That article that pointed them to the fact that indeed someone filed a petition asking the Office of Special Prosecutor to investigate Charles Bisu. Their belief is that that petition was authored by Ikeja, being the current Special Prosecutor, who at the time was lawyer for Tiger Eye Private Investigation and Anas Arabiana. And so they want a copy of that investigation, which they believe will enable them to put forward their case as to why the court should not allow the investigations to continue. Dr. Isidore Tufo, who represented the ONC, said that nowhere in the documents that have been filed by the lawyers for Charles Bisu do they make reference to the fact that they want such a document in order to make their case. And so he says this is purely an afterthought, and that if they have discovered such a document and they want to have access to it, then they know the right thing to do and not to use the back door and all proceedings and say that until they have access to that document, they cannot move the application for injunction. He says he doesn't think that is fair to the proceedings. The judge agreed with that particular view, but said that he was nonetheless going to attend the proceedings because of the fact that the lawyer for Charles Bisu had indicated that he was unwell. No, Charles Bisu was not present in court today. In fact, since this case was filed in December, more than 5 court proceedings, he has not attended any of them, and so he was not present in court today.
And we'll get you some updates and keep our eyes on that story for you this afternoon. We're also taking you to Bortianor. There's concern about the police operation within the area, which resulted in the death of 5 persons who the police say were land guards terrorizing residents there. The Bureau of Public Safety is demanding an immediate and independent investigation into the incident, which happened last Thursday. We'll hear from Dr. Nanayo Akwada on this issue shortly. We would also be taking you to the community where, of course, all of this has happened. My colleague, of course, Bakwisi Shandolf, will be giving us some updates here on the show and in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, I want to bring in Dr. Nanayo Akwada, who's with the Bureau of Public Safety. He's been monitoring developments and the indications from the Ghana Police Service that these were land guards who were subjects or victims of this extrajudicial killing. Good afternoon to you, sir. Welcome to the Pulse. Your take, first of all, on the police account of what may have happened. We've seen similar situations, and it's beginning to raise concerns. I mean, given the fact that we're having a heightened spate of extrajudicial killings. What's the concern really of the Bureau of Public Safety?
Well, thank you very much. I think we had to issue this statement on the basis of the fact that in recent times, if you look at the last 16 months or so, most police actions targeted at gangs or what you want to call organized crime have, all concluded very violently. We've had the police coming out to 5 deaths, 7 deaths, 3 deaths here and there. And we think that we are gradually beginning to see a certain affinity of police operations with dead bodies. I think it is not something that we should encourage in our scheme of things in terms of how the police operate. And that's why we had to issue this presser. Also, we also realized that the police practice of throwing press statements every time they go on operations and results in death, they throw press statements at the public, respectfully, is not something that we should also encourage. When you go for an operation and people die, it's important that you face the public and answer questions from the public, take questions from the public so that you can clarify issues with the public. We did not see that in the case of Bortianor. We did not see that in other cases that have passed in recent past. And we think that it's important that we draw the police attention to it. This will just be my preliminary comments. There are other aspects that border on, trust in the police, the place of the police in our democracy, police operation planning, and things that we will need to talk about as we progress with our interview.
I see. This is beginning to, in fact, question the human rights record of the Ghana Police Service, and yet they won't open up no transparency about the identities of these individuals and whether or not there is actual evidence backing why, of course, they may have been shot. You feel the police should come out on this?
Absolutely. It's the reason why we are here. This is 2023. The police are supposed to be accountable to the oversight bodies and the stakeholders. And we as civil society organizations, as individual or private citizens, the police are accountable to us. So to the extent that the police do not deem it necessary to lay bare the facts to us, they do not deem it necessary to answer questions from us in order to win us over, it is problematic. And that's what brings us here, that the police must be accountable to us in this democracy. We are living in an era of rule of law. The single institution that is tasked with ensuring that the principle of rule of law operates effectively is the police institution. And so if they want to operate under clouds, under darkness, without transparency, without accountability, what they are doing is that they are undermining their own legitimacy, which will translate into the legitimacy also of the government. And we will not have a country. We will not have a democracy. And so it is absolutely important that the police hold themselves as accountable to us. It is absolutely important that their practices and their operations are clear with us, the citizens, so that we can be on their side. As it stands now, everybody is skeptical of the police. I am skeptical of police. The Bureau of Public Safety is skeptical of the police. And you from the media just mentioning here that you suspect extrajudicial killing, that is serious. And so the police should not give us any doubt, any opportunity to even begin to think that they have accrued powers onto themselves to the extent that they determine who should live and who should not. Respectfully, they do not have those powers. The Constitution have not given them those powers, and they should not be seen, exercising powers that they do not have, like we have seen in times past.
The Ghana Police Service has changed this operanda in terms of how they deal with communication, not even a single word to the media ever since this incident happened, and we're not clear if indeed there'll be any public statement on this. Beyond this, there are other stakeholders. There's Parliament, there's also the Office of the Attorney General, who doubles as the Minister for Justice. Your expectations?
Well, I think that the police institution is what it is today because of the lack of proper oversight from the constitutionally mandated oversight bodies that have been created. And I'm talking the Police Council, I'm talking the Parliamentary Select Committee on Defense and Interior. We have not seen any significant action from them in recent times. Why must we have a police force that use the state's money to procure body cams for them, and yet they go on operations without these body cams? That is criminal. It's not just, if you like, maladministration. It is also criminal. It means you have something to hide, and especially when you come back with dead bodies. and come and tell us stories that it's difficult for the individual or the ordinary person on the street to verify. We all saw how the police, after killing 7 people in Ashanti region, went ahead to plant evidence against them. And the police stood by their narrative until an independent investigation body proved otherwise. We have all seen how people arrested, suspects arrested in lawful custody of the police. We've been told how these people were trapped in crossfire and they've lost their lives. And nobody is telling us anything. Where I sit, I don't trust the police to do any good job independently unless the oversight bodies, Parliament and the Police Council, will bring the constitutionally mandated authority to bear on the police service to begin to deliver service to the people and not to go about carrying dead bodies about as trophies or performance indicators.
Well, I see.
This is 2023. Dead bodies are not a good sign of policing. They are actually a very bad sign of policing. And totally, Ghanaians must reject this practice of banding dead bodies around all the time as evidence of police work.
It's also bringing up a conversation, and let's be fair to the Ghana Police Service, that, well, they still render service. So for now, we take their accounts partly as well. The concern about land guards terrorizing individuals. It's not new to you at the Bureau, is it?
It's not. It's not at all. And to be fair to the facts, I have been a victim of land guards before, and I know how it feels like for a developer, moving into a piece of land to develop, and you have all these guys coming around, threatening you and frustrating you. It is. But the point is that we must hold the police force to higher standards. We must hold them to higher standards. Are they telling Ghanaians that when they were confronted with this matter and they sat down to plan this operation, confronting them in this manner was the best strategy they could marshal? Respectfully, no. These guys are, if you like, land guards. They are known in the community. And the police intelligence would have led them to knowing these people, knowing where they live. In a single swoop, they could have picked all these guys up, individually, without a shred of blood dropping. Right. So how do you tell me that you have all the powers of the state, you have all the intelligence arms at your disposal, and this was the best way you can, treat land guards? Go in and kill people and bandy them about as though they were trophies. It is unacceptable. And I'm saying that we are not speaking because of Bortianor. We are speaking because of other incidents that have taken place in the past, that we are seeing this culture of violence creeping into the Ghana Police Service, and we must nip it in the bud, that when police operations team goes out, they should not always come with dead bodies. That is not done anywhere. When you go out and come with dead bodies, it is a time for the police leadership, for the operation commanders to bow their heads in shame, because they could have done it other way without getting dead bodies. We are not talking armed robbery incidents where you have to meet armed robbers and face them fire for fire. Even in those cases, we've had the police getting it so badly wrong, they've killed innocent people. So by all means, police modus operandi must be reviewed in this our democracy. Right. Otherwise, all of us, you and I, we are risking our lives as we go about our daily duties, legitimately.
I hope we are all safe, but we'll have to do it here. Thank you.
I hope so too, my brother.
Yeah.
I hope so.
We'll leave it here. Dr. Nanaya Akwada joining us.